Have you ever heard of a man who became a national hero because of a failed revolution? Today, we're diving into the incredible life of Joaquim José da Silva Xavier, better known by his nickname Tiradentes. His story is a powerful tale of rebellion, sacrifice, and the enduring quest for freedom that shaped modern Brazil. Born in 1746 in what is now the state of Minas Gerais, Joaquim came from a humble family. Minas Gerais at the time was the heart of Brazil's gold rush, a land of immense wealth, but that wealth wasn't staying in Brazil. The Portuguese crown imposed heavy taxes, especially the quinto, a tax demanding 1/5 of all gold mined. This constant drain of resources created a deep sense of resentment among the local population. Young Joaquim lost his parents early and had to make his own way in the world. He was a true jack of all trades. He worked as a cattle driver, a miner, and even practiced as an amateur dentist, which is how he earned his famous nickname, Tiradentes, meaning tooth puller. He was known for being skilled, creating dentures from animal bone with surprising precision. But his skills weren't limited to dentistry. He also had a keen interest in engineering and public works, even proposing ideas for sanitation and a water supply system for Rio de Janeiro. Despite his various jobs, Tiradentes eventually joined the military, becoming an alférez or second lieutenant in the Dragoon Regiment of Minas Gerais. This position gave him the responsibility of patrolling the Caminho Novo, the road used to transport gold from the mining regions to the port city of Rio de Janeiro. This first-hand experience showed him just how much wealth was being extracted from his homeland and shipped off to Portugal. He saw the poverty of his people contrasted with the immense riches leaving their land, and this injustice lit a fire within him. It was during this time that the ideas of the Enlightenment were sweeping across the globe. The American Revolution had just succeeded, proving that a colony could break free from its European master. The French Revolution was on the horizon, championing liberty, equality, and fraternity. These revolutionary ideals found fertile ground in Minas Gerais, especially among the colony's intellectual and economic elite. Tiradentes, though not a wealthy aristocrat himself, was an avid reader and a passionate speaker. He became deeply involved with a group of poets, lawyers, military officers, and wealthy landowners who were all fed up with Portuguese rule. This group secretly plotted what would become known as the Inconfidência Mineira, or the Minas Gerais conspiracy. Their plan was ambitious. They intended to declare Brazil's independence, establish a republic with its capital in São João del Rei, and create a new flag with the Latin motto, Libertas Quaesire Tamen, meaning liberty, even if it be late. They planned to found a university, encourage local industries, and write a constitution. Tiradentes was one of the most fervent and outspoken members of this movement. He traveled extensively, recruiting supporters and spreading the revolutionary message with infectious enthusiasm. He was the movement's chief propagandist, its public face, unafraid to speak of rebellion in the streets and taverns. The conspirators timed their uprising to coincide with a new, particularly harsh tax collection called the diorama. This tax allowed the Portuguese crown to forcibly collect any outstanding gold tax debts, seizing personal property if necessary. The plotters believed the public outrage over the diorama would be the spark that ignited their revolution. But the revolution was never to be. Like many conspiracies throughout history, it was undone by betrayal. One of the members, Joaquim Silverio dos Reis, was deeply in debt to the Portuguese crown. In exchange for having his debts forgiven, he exposed the entire plot to the colonial governor. The authorities moved swiftly. In 1789, the key conspirators, including Tiradentes, were arrested one by one. The trial that followed lasted nearly 3 years. Most of the conspirators were wealthy and well-connected. They denied their involvement, downplayed their roles, or blamed others. But Tiradentes did something extraordinary. He stepped forward and took full responsibility for the movement. He proudly declared that he was the leader and the main instigator of the rebellion, effectively shielding his comrades from harsher punishment. His confession was a strategic act of defiance. By proclaiming his ideals from the stand, he ensured that the dream of a free Brazil would not die with him. He used his trial as a platform to voice the grievances of the Brazilian people. While his co-conspirators, with their wealth and influence, had their death sentences commuted to exile in Portuguese colonies in Africa, Tiradentes, the man of humble origins, was made an example. On April 21, 1792, Joaquim José da Silva Xavier was publicly executed in Rio de Janeiro. It was a brutal medieval spectacle designed to terrorize anyone who might dare to challenge Portuguese authority. He was hanged, and then his body was dismembered. His head was put on display in the central square of Vila Rica, the capital of Minas Gerais, and his body parts were scattered along the road he once patrolled, a grim warning to all. His property was confiscated, his house was demolished, and the ground salted so nothing would ever grow there again. His name and memory were officially condemned. For decades, the Portuguese crown tried to erase Tiradentes from history. He was branded a traitor, a subversive, a criminal. But you can't kill an idea. The seeds of independence that he and the Inconfidências had sown continued to grow in the shadows. His sacrifice was not forgotten. The people remembered the tooth-puller who dared to dream of a free nation. When Brazil finally declared its independence from Portugal in 1822, it was as a monarchy, not the republic Tiradentes had envisioned. It would take another 67 years for that part of his dream to come true. In 1889, when Brazil finally became a republic, the new leaders needed a national hero, a symbol of republican ideals and the struggle for freedom. They found their hero in Tiradentes. The man once condemned as a traitor was reinvented as a martyr and the foremost hero of Brazilian independence. His story was retold, his image transformed. Artists began depicting him with long hair and a beard, deliberately creating a resemblance to Jesus Christ to emphasize his martyrdom and sacrifice for his people. The date of his execution, April 21st, was declared a national holiday. His birthplace was renamed after him, as were countless squares, streets, and cities across Brazil. Tiradentes' legacy is a powerful reminder that history is often written by the victors, but the memory of the people can be even more powerful. He wasn't a general who won great battles, or a statesman who signed treaties. He was an ordinary man with an extraordinary vision. He failed in his immediate goal, but his unwavering courage and ultimate sacrifice inspired a nation. His story teaches us that even in failure, there can be a profound victory, and that the fight for liberty is a flame that once lit is incredibly hard to extinguish. So the next time you hear the name Tiradentes, remember the humble dentist, the passionate revolutionary, and the national hero who gave his life for the dream of a free Brazil. His spirit lives on in the heart of his country. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the lives of incredible historical figures. See you next time.